Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kate and I love all things makeup, beauty, skincare, and fun. Today we're going to be talking about my makeup Project Pan update for the month of July, which is crazy. If you're interested in this type of content, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. I would love it if you would subscribe while you're here, and without any further ado, let's go. So full transparency, I have not been great about using my Project Pans. I didn't even do an update in the month of June because I feel like for the last couple of months, it has been so hot here in New England that it has been really challenging for me as a face sweater. I don't know what it's like to be God's favorite, clearly, because he made me a face sweater. So for me, when it's like 85, 90, 100 degrees, it's just really tricky for me to wear makeup to work because at work I'm consistently overheated. So at any rate, we will go over a couple of the products that I have been using, and let's just get into it. For setting spray, I've been working on this one by Neutrogena. This is their hydrating setting spray, and I've made, this one's really hard to show you because it's in a very locked up bottle here. However, I've made some good progress on this, but not, of course, not quite as much as I would have hoped to, primarily because I have not been wearing base makeup very much. The other thing worth noting is this is a hydrating setting spray, which works so well for me 3/4 out of the year, but in the summertime, I'm really looking for something that's going to be mattifying, and so I've been using this one here by Milk Makeup. I still enjoy this one. I still think that there's value in it, but for right now, I am going to take it out of my Project Pan just because I know that I am going to be reaching for my Milk Makeup one more. For foundation, I'm supposed to be working on this one by Tom Ford. This is their soft matte, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. So you can see I haven't made a ton of progress. I do really want to start to try to focus on this a little bit more and start to like make myself wear makeup even on those really hot days, because this one is going to expire pretty soon. It's already a little bit more thin than it used to be, so I know that it's like at the end of its life. I love this foundation. It really does what it said it's supposed to as far as like a soft matte goes. So I need to try to focus a little bit more and try to prioritize that. It's just trickier in these hot months. I have two primers that I'm working on. Both are by E.l.f. as luck would have it. We have this one here. This is their Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer. I'm actually a little shocked I haven't made more progress on this. I've made some progress for sure. So you can see it's like down to here at this point. However, I really have not been coming up to my beauty room and using my makeup nearly as much. It's also why my filming schedule has been just absolutely atrocious, because I honestly struggle so much to want to put on makeup. Not only when it's really hot outside and hot at work, but upstairs here, you can probably hear it in the background, and I'm so sorry for that. I have to have an air conditioner on, or it is so ungodly hot. It's Satan's armpit up here without the AC on. So I'm surprised honestly with myself though, because this is a cooling face primer. I'll be honest, I don't think the cooling is like the most revolutionary thing or effective thing, but I do enjoy this one. I find that it does a nice job of like gripping my foundation, so definitely want to keep this in the Project Pan and continue to work on using it up. The other primer that we have, as I mentioned, is also by E.l.f. This is their Poreless Putty Primer. This one has been in my Project Pan all year, and as you can see, I've made really great progress in here. This was nearly full, I would say, when I first started using it, so I'm very happy with the progress that I've made with this. That being said, I am going to take it out because there's some other primers that I am going to be working on this summer, including this one by Milk Makeup. This is their Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. I got the travel size one because I wasn't super sure on how it would work. I do really enjoy this one though. The other one that I have been loving and enjoying is this one by Glow Recipe. So I am going to keep those two in here along with this one, but I'm going to take out the E.l.f. one for now because right now I'm more so concerned about ensuring that my face is mattified for the summer. Our next product is by Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Airbrush Flawless Finish, and I am happy with this one as well. You can see I have definitely gotten some use out of this. What I do find is like tricky though is like now that it's all over here and there's literally nothing to be said for the pan, I find it is a little bit harder to use. I might need to repress this one. It's going to stay in my project pan because again, I really would like to use that one up and repurchase a new one because I do love that powder, and it's just getting a little bit older in my collection. But I might need to repress it because honestly, working with this one is so tricky. It's so tricky because you gotta really like shove the sponge or powder puff in my case in there to get it up. But I do love this. I've made some good progress and I'm going to continue to work on it. I put a bronzer in here optimistically thinking that I would get great use out of it, and that admittedly has not been the case. This is by Too Faced. This was their Chocolate Gold Soleil bronzer. I don't even think they make this anymore. So as you can see, I really haven't made too much progress. That being said, I have used this actually. Even on days when I come up to my beauty space and I am not doing a full beat, I will put bronzer on, and this is typically the bronzer that I'm reaching for. It does still smell like chocolate, but the chocolate scent is definitely fading, so it's one that I am in fact going to keep in here. I just really struggle with colored products, so let me know, do you guys do project pans? And if you do you put blushes and bronzers in there? And how do you do? Because I just feel like I have so many bronzers and especially blushes, but like I have a decent amount of bronzers that like I want to play with and I want to use. I've been loving this one by Kosas. This is the Sun Show bronzer in this shade Beachy, and I think that's probably where things are getting a little tricky for me, is that like I got this one this year. I know that Kosas is one of those brands that goes bad really quickly, so I'm like nervous. I don't want this to go bad on me, especially because I do love the formula. That's what I'm wearing today, but it is tricky with new and more fun and products I enjoy perhaps more to really focus on this one. But I am going to keep it in here. It's a nice bronzer. Too Faced actually really does a nice job with their bronzers, but it's just hard. It's just hard, you know? Our last item in our project pan for this rotation is this one by Marc Jacobs. This is the Extra Shot Concealer / Foundation. That Marc Jacobs doesn't even exist anymore. So I have made a little bit of progress. You can like see right there. I'm definitely using this, and I'm like, especially where I have not been using foundation, I have in fact been using concealer. What I think is going to get kind of tricky is that this is a much lighter shade than I'm going to be even in a month, even right now. So that is a little bit tricky to navigate, but I am going to keep it in here and I'm going to keep trying to work on it. I want to give an honorary mention to the mascara that I've been working so diligently on. This is by Milani, and this is their highly rated lash extensions mascara. This got such polarizing reviews. I enjoy it a lot. That being said, I did not enjoy it when I first got it. It's a super wet formula, and consequently, it can be really messy. I much preferred it probably after 3 weeks of wear because it certainly dried out quite a bit. It does add a lot of, in my experience, length to my lashes, not so much volume, and I like that it's tubing. I like that you can just literally get your eyelashes wet and then slide the tubes off. I just find it so much easier to clean up, but we are nearly at the end of her rope. This is actually going to be my last month with this one. It's been over 3 months at this point, so honestly I should technically declutter her right now, but I'm not ready to. She still has a little bit of life left in her, so we're going to continue to use her through the month of July, and then we are in fact going to retire her. Those were all the products that I am working on in my project pan. We did take out a couple of them and just retire them. A project pan, I want it to be a really positive experience as far as I'm using makeup that I love and makeup that brings me joy, and I'm doing it because I love it and also because I don't want to be wasteful, but I also don't want it to be a punitive project for me, and I find that I can find it punitive. So it's kind of interesting. I'm like debating, like, do I keep doing this series? But also I feel like it's important for me to like at least tell you guys, like, project panning in my experience is tricky because I enjoy it, I understand it, and I love new makeup. I love, which is like consumerism, right, at its core. But it's tricky. It's tricky because I have a decent amount of makeup in my collection, and it's hard for me personally to like pan things. I think if I had like 1 or 2 foundations or 1 or 2 powders and like constantly throughout the year, those were the only things I was using, this would be much more fruitful. But that's just not my collection, and it's also not how I want my collection to be. So I have to just kind of, you know, balance that with myself, I guess. But let me know down below, are you guys continuing to project pan throughout 2023? How are you doing, and how do you deal with those feelings maybe of like guilt around like not making the progress that you were hoping to make? Because it's something I kind of struggle with, but I digress. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would love it so much if you would subscribe to my channel down below. As always, please stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.